Have you ever noticed that the harder you chase something, the faster it seems to slip away? Whether it's success, money, love, or even peace of mind. We spend our lives trying to control everything. We want every situation to go exactly as planned. We want people to behave the way we expect. We want our dreams to come true on our schedule. But life has never worked that way. And the moment we start fighting reality, stress quietly enters our lives. Anxiety takes over our minds, and little by little, we lose the happiness we were chasing in the first place. This is where Stoicism teaches one of the most powerful lessons ever discovered. The tighter you hold on to something, the more likely you are to lose it. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once reminded us that peace begins the moment we stop fighting what is beyond our control. Think about it. How much of your daily energy is spent worrying about things you can't actually control? What people think about you, when success will finally arrive, whether someone will stay or leave, what tomorrow will bring. The truth is, most of these things have never been in your control. Yet we waste our lives trying to force them to obey our wishes. And that is where suffering begins. Imagine preparing for an important job interview. You study for weeks. You improve your skills. You give everything you have. But can you control the final decision? No. If your happiness depends only on getting that job, then you've already handed your peace of mind to someone else. But if your happiness comes from knowing you gave your absolute best, then no result has the power to destroy you. That is the real strength of Stoicism. It teaches us to focus on our actions, not our attachment to the outcome. Because outcomes are shaped by many things outside our control, but our character is shaped only by our choices. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We suffer not because of what happens, but because we insist that life should happen differently." Think about those words for a moment. Two people can face the exact same failure. One person falls apart. The other grows stronger than ever before. The difference isn't the situation. The difference is the mindset. Real power doesn't belong to the richest person or the strongest person. It belongs to the person who has learned to master their own mind. The day you stop trying to control everything around you, you begin to experience a kind of freedom that most people never discover. A freedom where fear becomes smaller, stress loses its grip, and confidence grows from within. Because true strength has never been about controlling the world. It's about learning to control yourself. And that is the first step toward becoming mentally unstoppable. But here's the question. If we're not supposed to control everything, then how do we actually achieve success? Should we simply let go? Or is there a deeper secret hidden behind this Stoic philosophy? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, while others spend their entire lives chasing them? The answer isn't luck, it isn't talent, and it certainly isn't coincidence. The real difference lies in who they become, not just what they achieve. Most people wake up every morning thinking, "I need more money. I need this relationship. I need success as quickly as possible." But Stoicism teaches something completely different. It says, the moment your happiness depends on one specific outcome, you become a prisoner of that outcome. Think about it. When you're desperate to win, every setback feels like a disaster. Every rejection feels personal. Every delay feels like failure. But when your focus shifts from getting results to becoming better, something incredible begins to happen. you become calmer, smarter, more patient. And ironically, that's when success starts moving towards you. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus believed that true freedom begins when you stop attaching your identity to things you cannot control. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask yourself, "What kind of person am I becoming through this challenge?" Because in the end, your character will always outlast your achievements. Imagine an artist creating a masterpiece. If every brushstroke is filled with fear, will people like this? Will I become famous? What if everyone hates my work? That fear destroys creativity. The artist is no longer painting with passion, they're painting for approval. And approval is something you can never fully control. But the moment that same artist falls in love with the process, everything changes. They stop chasing perfection, they start chasing excellence. Every painting makes them better. Every mistake teaches a lesson. Every failure becomes another step forward. Life works exactly the same way. Whether you're building a business, improving your health, or trying to create meaningful relationships, your greatest advantage is never desperation. It's inner confidence. Have you ever noticed that people who constantly seek attention often receive the least respect? They try too hard. They force conversations. They need constant validation. But someone who is secure within themselves, who doesn't beg for approval, naturally earns respect without asking for it. Because confidence is attractive. Desperation is exhausting. Marcus Aurelius believed that a person's greatest achievement wasn't becoming famous, it was becoming someone who could remain calm in both success and failure. That's real strength. Not celebrating wildly when life goes your way, and not falling apart when it doesn't. Because both victory and defeat are temporary. Character is permanent. Here's something most people never realize. Success is often a byproduct, not a destination. When you become disciplined, success follows. When you become trustworthy, people trust you. When you become valuable, opportunities begin to appear. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because you became stronger. So from this day forward, focus less on chasing your dreams and more on becoming the kind of person who naturally deserves them. Because once your character becomes powerful, success is no longer something you have to hunt. It becomes something that begins looking for you. But this raises another important question. If we're doing everything right, working hard every single day, then why does success sometimes take so long to appear? Is hard work enough? Or does life have its own perfect timing? Have you ever looked around and wondered, why is everyone else moving ahead while I'm still waiting? You work hard, you stay disciplined, you sacrifice comfort, yet somehow, life feels painfully quiet. No recognition, no breakthrough, no visible reward. And slowly, a dangerous voice begins whispering inside your mind. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe I should just quit. But what if this silent season isn't your punishment? What if it's your preparation? This is where Stoicism separates ordinary thinkers from extraordinary ones. The Stoics believed that life never delays your blessings without a reason. Sometimes, life is simply building the person who will be capable of carrying them. Think about a diamond. Before it shines, it survives unimaginable pressure. Gold doesn't become valuable until it passes through fire. A sword doesn't become powerful until it is struck thousands of times. And a strong human being is never created during comfortable days. They are created during lonely nights, silent battles, unexpected failures, and moments when nobody believes in them. The Roman philosopher Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." Read that again. Your struggles are not destroying you, they're training you. Every disappointment is building emotional endurance. Every rejection is teaching resilience. Every obstacle is forcing you to become wiser than you were yesterday. The problem is, most people quit before they discover what those struggles were preparing them for. Modern society has programmed us to expect everything instantly. Instant success, instant money, instant happiness, instant recognition. But nature has never worked that way. The biggest trees grow the slowest, the deepest rivers move the calmest, and the strongest people are often the ones whose victories take the longest to arrive. Because greatness cannot be rushed. Imagine planting a seed today, then digging it up tomorrow just to check if it's growing. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Yet that's exactly what most people do with their dreams. They work for a few weeks, then immediately demand results. When nothing happens, they lose faith. They stop believing. They walk away. Not because success was impossible, but because they were impatient. Marcus Aurelius believed that every single day had only one true purpose: to become a little better than you were yesterday. Not richer, not more famous, not more admired, just stronger in character. Because when your character grows, everything else eventually follows. Here's a truth that changed my perspective forever. Life rewards consistency far more than intensity. Anyone can stay motivated for 1 week. Anyone can work hard for 1 month. But very few people continue showing up when there's no applause, no recognition, and no immediate reward. That's where champions are born. Not in moments of victory, but in moments when nobody is watching. Every successful person you've ever admired spent years building a life that nobody else noticed. People celebrate the finished building, but they never applaud the workers who laid the foundation underground. And that's exactly where you are right now. You may not see dramatic changes today, but beneath the surface, your discipline is becoming stronger. Your patience is becoming deeper. Your mindset is becoming unbreakable. Never underestimate quiet progress, because silent growth often creates the loudest success. Remember, success doesn't arrive because you're lucky. It arrives because you became the person capable of handling it. So if life feels slow right now, don't mistake silence for failure. Sometimes God, nature, or life itself is simply giving your roots more time to grow. Because a tree with weak roots cannot survive a powerful storm, and perhaps your future success will be so great that your present struggles are simply preparing you to carry its weight. So don't stop now. Keep learning, keep improving, keep showing up. Even when nobody notices, even when nothing seems to change. Because one day, everything you've been building in silence will finally become impossible to ignore. But there's still one final lesson that separates truly free people from everyone else. How do you stop fearing the future, stop chasing approval, and finally discover the kind of inner peace that no circumstance can ever take away? If you stayed with me until this final chapter, then you're not just looking for motivation. You're searching for something much more valuable. A different way to live. Because by now, you've probably realized something. Life has never been about controlling every situation. It's always been about controlling yourself. Think about it. No matter how intelligent you are, no matter how carefully you plan, life will still surprise you. People will disappoint you. Friends will leave. Opportunities will disappear. Unexpected problems will arrive without warning. And sometimes, you'll do everything right, yet still lose. Most people believe that's unfair. A Stoic believes, That's simply life. The difference isn't in what happens. The difference is in how you respond. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Those words contain one of the greatest secrets ever written. The world doesn't control your emotions. People don't control your emotions. Your circumstances don't control your emotions. Your interpretation of those events does. Imagine two people losing the exact same job. One spends months blaming life, blaming the economy, blaming other people. They become bitter, angry, hopeless. The other experiences the same loss, the same disappointment, the same uncertainty. But instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" One person becomes weaker, the other becomes wiser. The event was identical, the mindset was completely different, and that mindset changed everything. This is why Stoicism has survived for more than 2,000 years, because human nature hasn't changed. People still fear rejection, still chase approval, still worry about tomorrow, still compare themselves to everyone else. Technology has evolved, society has evolved, but the human mind still fights the same battles it fought centuries ago. That's why Stoicism remains timeless. It doesn't promise an easy life. It prepares you for a meaningful one. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing happiness lives somewhere in the future. I'll be happy when I become rich. I'll be happy when I find the perfect relationship. I'll be happy when everything finally goes my way. But that day never comes. Because every new achievement creates another desire. Every goal creates another mountain. Every success creates another expectation. And before you know it, you spent your entire life chasing happiness instead of living it. The Stoics understood something most people never will. Peace is not something you discover outside yourself. It's something you build inside yourself. When you stop comparing your journey with someone else's, your confidence grows. When you stop needing everyone's approval, your freedom begins. When you stop fearing failure, your courage becomes unstoppable. That's real wealth. Not money, not status, not fame, but a mind that remains calm even when life becomes chaotic. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How many nights have you lost sleep over problems that never actually happened? How many opportunities did fear steal from you before you even tried? How many dreams died because you convinced yourself you weren't good enough? Most prisons aren't built with concrete. They're built with fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough.